Hey, what up, everybody? It's your boy Nitro. I'm gonna do a quick video on the John Parham National Motorcycle Museum in Anamosa, Iowa. So me and John go way back to when he started JMP Cycles out of his garage in Anamosa. I want to just say, rest in peace, brother. And as far as Jill, we're doing this video to try to help get the message out that the Motorcycle Museum is going up for auction, and John's collection will be sold off at auction through Meekum Auctions. So a lot of you didn't know, John passed away, and I think the kids took over. And then I think it all went to Wall Street. But the one thing all these years, through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, JMP Cycles was kind of like the Sears catalog of the motorcycle industry. So everybody got a free motorcycle catalog where you could buy parts for whatever kind of bike you were working on. So many prayers to the Parham family, and miss you, John, brother. It's been a long time, man. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you passed away, but I did get to speak with you at one of the parties up at JMP when you were wheelchair bound and sick, and I was glad I was able to sit and chat with you for a while. So, all right, everybody, let's just get to it. This is the John Parham National Motorcycle Museum. This is John's personal collection that'll be going up for sale. I know the Captain America bike sold in 2014 for 1.5 million, I think, 1.4 million, something like that. But there's still a lot of bikes there, so let's get with the video. Enough talking, you know, and let's just get it, people. Here we go.
When you walk into this museum, your first impression is like, oh my gosh.
John Parham was one of those collectors that understood the passion of buying a motorcycle.
This auction is going to be a very, very rare opportunity to acquire some first-class motorcycles and all the memorabilia that goes with.
John Parham was a very quiet man. Most people would consider him to be more of a thinker than
That's his wife, Jill.
John started loving motorcycles at a very early age.
It's about when I met John, right there.
Owning smaller motorcycles, and then he started building some bikes, and then he started owning more and loving the history of the motorcycling.
John Parham built a aftermarket motorcycle parts business, parts and accessories, J&P Cycles. Became a very big deal. It was quite an accomplishment for someone to build a business of that size.
In the early years, we did a lot of swap meets. That's how we kind of started off. We did probably 50 swap meets a year, and then we started promoting them. And we were one of the biggest promoters in the world. And we had to stop promoting because JMP Cycles was growing so much.
As time went on, he decided, I want to put my dreams somewhere. He began his museum in town, right in Anamosa, this little museum. But then he moved it to this.
The National Motorcycle Museum is the leading vintage motorcycle and motorcycle artifacts museum in North America.
The National Motorcycle Museum really was one of my dad's lifelong dreams to show his collection. And I think it was a way for him to show people the history of motorcycling.
It's a cornucopia of everything two-wheeled. Every country is represented, and every brand, nearly every model. It's deep.
There is everything from...
And Nitro was pretty lucky on some of these bikes that John had in his collection that he would show in his store. Me and a buddy of mine would collaborate together, and he lived up near Anamosa and had his paint and body shop, and I would go up there and actually help him paint and sand and buff some of the custom bikes. John had in his shop and had a pretty close relationship with John. So check it out, Amicum Auctions. I know it's a bad time in the United States to be having an auction with the pandemic and everybody being broke. But everybody check out the auction. Hopefully his stuff sells for good money and it's able to go with the Parham family. So we'll keep going.
So mini bikes to very expensive Merkles to almost every year of the early teens of the Harley Davidson, Vincent's, BMWs, Triumphs.
You have like the Indy and the Flying Merkel, Thor, Celsius Henderson. There's even a Sears Roebuck bike that's in this building that's used to sell on the catalog, right?
He's got a Curtis motorcycle in here that I don't think one's ever been offered in public auction ever, and it's a twin boot. There's a SS100 Buck Superior right behind it that'll also be in the auction.
Beautiful bikes. So if you're listening, Jay Leno, you better get there and swoop up this collection and be ready to open up your pocketbook.
Some of the displays in this museum are very unique, right? There's a 200 foot of a board track that were literally built in the building.
There's some real board track racers on there, absolutely, and those are hard to come by. You don't see genuine board track racers from that era.
We did a hill climb section, so they built a hill climb area, made it look like the rocks and everything.
He was smart enough to know that people don't want to just see one certain thing. So he'd buy Hondas, Kawasaki's.
He wanted to have a motorcycle where people could come in and say, I rode that when I was such and such age. That was my first bike. He wanted all aspects of all the motorcycle world.
Anytime you talk about motorcycles, you can't get away from Hollywood. When you see Captain America motorcycle from the movie Easy Rider, I mean, it instantly captures you because it's so iconic, you know, whether it's a replica or not. When you see a motorcycle that belonged to Steve McQueen, you know, I mean, it speaks to a lot of people. He was the king of cool.
He loved memorabilia too, and so he loved collecting toys and posters and all the stuff that went along with the motorcycling world. He had a huge passion for it.
Some of the great pieces are the early advertising pieces that over 80 or 90 years, they're artwork now.
Then he kind of got into the bronzes, and it was just unique art because it's beautifully made with, you know, different artists.
I knew John was sincere and loved my work always. I remember him saying something about the bronzes, like, you know, the bronzes meant something because I could bring those home, or I could buy those and Jill was excited that I got another sculpture.
When this collection is auctioned off, it's going to be on site here. We will have an auction arena set up outside. We're going to leave all the motorcycles and all the memorabilia in the museum as it's displayed.
It allows you to actually walk around and see what it was together. I would say a decent portion have never been here, right? And while they're going to come for the auction, they're still going to get to experience what it was as a group.
So many of these items anymore, toys, motorcycles, cars, collectible signs are being sold on the internet. That gives you a lot more access, but the internet takes out the greatest part of the hobby to come out of it.
It'll be emotional for me to see some of these go out the door, but in my heart, I'm 100% good with what's happening. He's always going to be remembered for being the founder of J&P Cycles, but he's just known as the quiet man that sat back and loved the world of motorcycling, loved the history of motorcycling, loved all the people in motorcycling.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the people that come to the auction or buy the memorabilia or the bikes really just, you know, they love motorcycling. And they're going to display them. I mean, that's what this is all about.
John was at the hierarchy of vintage motorcycle collecting, and he was a cornerstone of the hobby. I think what we'll see, besides people coming here and buying artifacts, you're going to see a lot of John's old friends from around the country. It's going to be a celebration of life.
So make sure y'all that are from the Midwest, I'm sure many of you have been to the Motorcycle Museum. With me and my family and everybody I rode with, it was like a once a month thing to ride to in the summer. And just spend a whole day up at JP Cycles, shopping, and then run and get some food and run down to the museum and check out the bikes. It's going to be sad that it won't be there no more, but hopefully the money's going to a good charity and the family. So anyway, enough of that. It's raining out today. I'm not going to be able to catch you guys up on what's going on with everything outside, but I wanted to do this short little video on JMP Cycles and John Parham. So hopefully you guys can either be there at the auction. And we're doing shout outs to like Jay Leno and all you boys and you know that got the money. Get there, get the bikes you want. I seen a few I want, but I just ain't got the money. So, all right, man. Peace, everybody. Like, subscribe, and share. Nitro.